Former US President Barack Obama recently stated that solving the Israel-Palestine conflict requires an understanding of its complexity. But is it really complicated as it's made out?
If there's any chance of us being able to act constructively to do something, it will require an admission of complexity.
And it's not only Obama.
Mainstream news channels are filled with journalists and commentators telling us just how complex Israel's occupation of Palestine is.
Of all the regions in the world, none may have as complicated a history as the Middle East.
Decades of conflict between Israel and Palestine. It's very complicated. A lot of people have been trying to read into this.
In reality, it's way more complicated than that.
Is that really the case? Or is the myth of complexity just another way for world leaders to avoid holding Israel to account and whitewashing their own complicity in what is now the longest illegal occupation in modern history? In fact, if we take universal principles, international law and morality as our judge, what we find is not complexity, but clarity. Consider the following. Israel has violated more UN Security Council resolutions than any other country. On every major issue that is contested, there is no complexity. The law is unequivocally on the side of the Palestinians. On the right of refugees, who now number more than 5 million, to return to their homes, the status of Jewish-only settlements, the status of Israel's illegal occupation, the right of Palestinians to self-determination, the status of East Jerusalem. In all the core issues, there is no complexity, only clarity. Consider also that on Israel's practice of the crime of apartheid, we have clarity because every major human rights group has concluded that Israel has imposed a system of racial domination and segregation on every inch of territory from the river to the sea. Don't take my word for it. Listen to one of America's celebrated authors, Ta-Nehisi Coates, who has interviewed Obama on several occasions describing exactly how he felt after discovering just how uncomplicated Israel's occupation of Palestine is.
And it's made to sound as though you need a degree in Middle Eastern studies or some such, a PhD, to really understand what's happening, about how complicated and how complex the situation is and the occupation is. I say it's complex, it's complicated. But I understood the first day that our tax dollars are effectively subsidizing apartheid, or subsidizing a segregationist order, a Jim Crow regime.
So the next time someone says this conflict is too complex to understand, remember that this is an appeal for you to remain indifferent to the crimes committed by Israel and the suffering of the Palestinians. There can be no complexity when one side is committing genocide.